So, in First Peter, Peter uses the ideas of exile and land to get his point across. And in other versions, the ideas are expressed as being strangers, aliens, foreigners in a land, being spread about. And then he uses the dichotomy between our earthly reality and the heaven reality as in terms of land to get his point across. I think specifically for me, because I live in Southern California, I live in North San Diego, I'm only 45 minutes away from the Mexico border. There's a lot of what Peter says that just makes a ton of sense to me. Every year I go down to Mexico during spring break. In fact, I'm leaving at the end of next month to lead a group of high school students down there to build houses. But that's not the point I'm trying to get across. Here in San Diego, we deal with illegal immigration a lot. It is one of the foremost topics that comes up in circles here and amongst churches. How do we engage illegal immigration? What's our role? What's our part as the church? And here's where I'm getting at with that. A lot of people have heard stories about how bad life is in Mexico. But it's another thing to go down there and see what life is like. Just in the last couple months, we've had to switch our area of building 3 times because of certain things. The first time was a mudslide because of the past rains that came, wiped out the area where we were going to build. And then we were going to build at the town dump just down the road in Tijuana. We couldn't do that because of the drug cartel coming in and making it an unsafe place. Third part was to go to another orphanage and build some homes for orphans down just south of Rosarito. We weren't able to do that, and now we're going to be building houses somewhere in Tijuana nearby a seminary. But hey, that might change. And what I'm getting at is the circumstances, the life down there. We know from stories it's so bad, but it's another thing to go down there and to see the slums, to see the shacks that people are living in. It's not a good place. And in so many ways, Peter is reminding us we are living in a place more like Tijuana than the hills of Hollywood. Where we're living in slums like what we see south of the border rather than sunny San Diego. That's our current reality. And he keeps on reminding us, you are exiles. You're strangers. You are foreigners. And keeps on pushing us into this living hope that one day we'll be in this new place, this new land, if you will, of being directly in God's presence. That our physical reality would be present in God's presence, that we would be with him. And so that's one huge idea that comes across as I'm reading through Paul and how his teachings influence me personally. And that's a crazy reality to think, man, even as good as things are, or we feel that they are, even if they're going bad, like there's a different reality that we're destined for. And then secondly, another big way that this whole book stands out to me, but especially chapter 2, verse 11, when it says, I urge you as aliens and strangers in the world. Just a couple weeks ago, I lost my father. And as much as I want to cry right now, that verse and really all of Paul's writing reminds me I think this book is the reason why we often tell people that when they lose a loved one, that person is in a better place. That is what this book is all about. Like, my dad is in a better place. The other idea, a major idea Paul brings up, is suffering. And while suffering has many different shapes and forms, one of them can be the bodily form, a physical form, whether it's age or, in my dad's case, cancer. Suffering comes, and it reminds us that, it reminds me of a song, really, that this place isn't our home. And so, for me, it really brings a lot of hope for me and my family where we're at now. And this is what my dad was all about. I'm thankful for that he instilled in us faith in Christ, that he constantly pointed us back to Jesus. And so while my dad's gone, I can rejoice, one, that he's no longer suffering, but two, that he's in a different reality, one that he is enjoying. And despite him not being with us, he is, as D.L. Moody once said, that today he is more alive now than he ever was on our time on earth. So, thanks.